Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Friday night edition of Hypnosis Hero, everyone's favorite hypnosis podcast. Tonight, we have, hopefully, I'll tell you more about that in just a second. Hopefully, we have Sailesh Jiwan. He is one of the top hypnotists in the world. In fact, he's actually been called the number one hypnotist in the world by many sources. And so we're having some technical issues. Shawn, our incredible producer, is over there trying to help him get connected. And of course, joining me right over here to my right or left, wait, this way. Okay. Of course, the incredible, the fantastic hypnotist, Brian Bay. Hello, Brian.
Good evening, sir.
Just to let everybody know, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is Hypnosis Hero, where we talk to the world's greatest hypnotists. And you also get the opportunity to get hypnotized through the screen by those hypnotists. Me, Shawn Kostiuk, and Brian are all hypnotists. And this week's Hypnosis Hero, Sailesh Jiwan. Brian, you've never met Sailesh.
I have not.
Well,
we tried to as we got started, so I can see him. He looks absolutely magnificent.
He does look magnificent. And so
Damn, he's pretty.
Damn, he's pretty. Wherever you're watching from, please do let us know. We got a hello all. Thank you, hello. If we don't get Sailesh on for some reason, I'm sure Shawn's going to help him figure it out because Shawn is a genius at this stuff. So he absolutely will get it figured out. But just in case he doesn't, of course, we'll have him back on another time. Brian, how's your week been?
I did a thing.
You did a thing.
My midlife crisis is officially in full swing.
I
put a deposit down to go.
Sports car, hair transplant. What'd you do?
The hair transplants. Coming in a little gray, not leaving. Put a deposit down. I set up a group's sunset skydive for mid August, and then I pick up a new sport bike on Sunday.
Ooh. Wow, what kind of sport bike are you picking up, Brian?
It's a 05 Honda 600 or Honda CBR 600RR.
Nice.
So it's one of those. My little brother calls it an organ donor.
Organ donor.
gonna try to use discretion and responsibility and those adjectives that I don't like. But yeah, we'll endeavor to keep the rubber side down.
Well, in my experience, back when I was riding, I found that I had more trouble with other people's driving than with my own driving. So, as you know, it's when you're on a bike, you're really your main goal is just watching out for knuckleheads that'll hit you because they're not paying attention.
Oh yeah, I was driving home from the Nile Shrine last night, and there's the carpool, the HOV lane, and then the number 4 lane, which is your fast lane, and then I was in number 3, and one guy just blows up lane splits, and the car that was in front of me in the number 4 lane, if I had just slowed a little bit, just slowed up and then turn signal to go left, the guy would have drove right into the back of me and died. I mean, he blew my doors off at probably 100 miles an hour, and wow. I'm like, that's no es bueno, man.
No es bueno at all.
Looks like Shawn and I need some permissions.
Oh, let me get some permissions.
Quick admin note.
Yeah. See if I remember how to do that. Every time I have to remember. So I see we've got some of our regular listeners on today. Let's see. Permissions for Brian. You come on as support, right? I think so.
It should be.
Yeah.
Oh, I got powers.
Good. Let's put some people on the screen, if you will.
Janaea. I remember her.
Yes, Janaea. She says, what up, Hypnosis Heroes? Thank you. What up? It is a wonderful night to do some hypnosis.
And then, Jim, I didn't see on your page, there was a link for the Facebook Live. I didn't see that. It says the content isn't available.
I don't know why that is. Facebook changes things all the time, and unfortunately, you're having a laptop. Okay, we just got word from Shawn that Sailesh is he's going to be on shortly. Great. He's going to grab a laptop. I guess I'll have to tell people not to use an iPad either. Kendall Moon. So I want to let I don't know where were we at? Oh, you know what? So Facebook changes things all the time, and so the platform I'm using, it takes them a while to catch up, and so sometimes that's what the problem is. I want to give a shout out to somebody. Somebody here says hello all. We don't know who that is, and I'm even looking on my Facebook page, and I don't see who it is. So so I don't know who that is. I don't know who's watching. If you said hello all, drop your name down there, or if you said hello Brian, Jim, and Shawn, another person or same person.
Yeah, let me pull it up and see if I can't get it to work.
Yeah, good. Oh, Mike Brody. Okay, good. Mike, so let me give a shout out to Mike. Mike Brody, he has a show on Monday nights. I believe it is. Mike, what time is that? And drop the link down to that so people can catch your show. We'd love to support that. If you're a hypnotist, drop your link down below. I saw Joe Baber gave us a like over on Facebook. I hope he's still watching. I hope I say your name right, Joe. Shawn, I'm going to bring you on real quick so you can say, yep, there he is. Debbie Lynn says hello. Shawn, hello, sir.
Hey, it's me. I'm still kicking.
So it looks like you may have Sailesh all set up with getting him set up, eh?
Yeah, he was in the process of grabbing a laptop to get rolling.
Yeah, so I guess I'll have to tell people no cell phones or iPads. I thought, according to the platform, they say you can use an iPad, but maybe not.
It depends. iOS is kind of funny that way. It will depend on what the hardware is and what the version is, and so on and so forth. So,
gotcha. That's why it is such just a magnificent thing, Shawn, to have you available, talk people through this stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, drop a link if you will. He's on, it's a 7 p.m. on YouTube Live. Drop a link so we can find you or to your profile or something like that. So Brian is going through a midlife crisis. He's getting himself a motorcycle, going skydiving. Shawn, I mean, you're much younger. So, of course,
I don't think I'm that much younger. I passed the mid-century mark last year.
Well done, sir. Well done. So, that was mostly a joke. What have you done? What have you done to?
In all fairness, my mom jumped on her 60th birthday in Southern California.
Nice.
And she said, "I wish I did it 20 years before."
Yeah.
So there's time for you, Shawn. There's opportunity.
Well, not according to Joe. I mean, Joe's saying it right there.
Oh.
What's Joe saying?
No longer qualified to be an Army clerk. So
Army clerks don't jump out of airplanes, so you can.
That's probably a good thing too. No, if I was to jump out of an airplane, I'd probably have to either get really tall so that my weight is actually the right weight, or I'd have to, just lose some weight so I don't fall like a stone.
Yeah. I did it back when I was about 22. And I really feel like now I have way more to lose than when I was 22, so I don't really want to do it again. So
my whole theory on life is this: why, and I did the same thing with skiing and some of the more dangerous things. Why would I hurl myself?
Because
why would I hurl but why would I hurl myself down a mountain with 2 sticks to guide me and 2 sticks on my feet? That's just not logical.
Shawn, nobody ever pulled a hammy sitting on the couch. That's what I always say. So
that's not true.
My Dawn.
Dawn is here once again.
You remember Dawn?
I do.
You did good things.
Awesome. Fantastic. Just to let everybody know, we are broadcasting live, 7:30 p.m. Sailesh Jiwan is our special guest, our Hypnosis Hero this week. If you want to experience hypnosis anytime in the comfort, the privacy of your own home, you know that this show is sponsored by the Hypnosis Hero app, which is available in the Android store. I just started working on the iOS version, so fingers crossed that'll be done really soon. Go grab that. Please drop a comment below if there's something that you would like Sailesh to I'm not sure if he's going to do a therapeutic hypnosis tonight, or if he's going to do a or just fun with hypnosis. Drop a comment down below if you like what if you want to tell us what you'd like to see tonight, what you'd like to experience. I will tell you, Brian, the Motorola M was very popular last time.
Motorola M.
Yeah, you did you did a thing where you told people, you look at the M on my phone.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. You see, my phone needs a new case. It's been
not as badly as mine does.
Phone.
Not as badly as mine does.
You guys, you need to go heavy duty.
Heavy duty, yes. Hey, it looks like we might have Sailesh coming on. I see him, but we still don't hear him. I'm excited.
Well, we'll find out right away.
Yes, we will find out. So everyone listening, drop your questions about hypnosis. We've got some longtime listeners. We always appreciate that. Thanks so much. Oh, big favor. I wanted to ask you guys, if you're watching right now, if you could share, especially if you're on YouTube, if you could share, well, actually, wherever you're sharing, could you share this to your page, your social media? Share it over on Threads. You have no followers on there yet anyway, but hey, it will help us get seen more. And I am like 60 people away from having 1,000 subscribers, which will be getting monetized. And so, we're making like a nickel every couple months probably. But really helps out if you could go just share this. That would be awesome. Forgetting things would be fun. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll let you take care of the comments. Shawn, wow, we got a lot
of pizza phone case.
Oh, yeah, pineapples on the pizza. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's for sure.
There's Becca.
Hey. Becca. We have a special request from Janaea to do some forgetting tonight.
Janaea, do you want to forget to remember or remember to forget?
I love either. Hey, I'm going to give everybody just a little glimpse of Sailesh. He's still working on the audio, I think. But look, say hi, Sailesh.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, he's there.
Yes.
I've been waiting for you to add me. I've been sitting there going, hello and chat to you, and I'm like, all right.
What do I do? Oh, I didn't know you. Hold on. You're going to give a proper intro. Sorry about that. God. Wow, this is so unprofessional, people. Come on.
God. We're
get it together.
Introductions.
I hate premature.
It's been a while since we've all been together. In our defense.
That's right. All right. So tonight, really, I mean, this guy, incredible hypnotist. He's literally been called the world's best hypnotist by, MTV. Let me just go ahead and read his intro so I don't mess it up. We're talking to a guy. He's been performing for 29 years. He doesn't even look old enough to be performing for 29 years in 19 countries, over 6,000 performances. 6,000. That's amazing. He's been proclaimed by MTV Europe as the best hypnotist in the world. He's also been named Entertainer of the Year 3 times and named Hypnotist of the Year 5 times for all college and university markets in North America in just this past decade. Everyone, please give it up for my friend, my colleague, apparently the best hypnotist on the planet, Sailesh Jiwan. Sailesh, how are you?
I am well. I'm glad to be on. This is the second computer I've tried, but I'm glad to be here. It seems like there's always something messed up between me and you in a podcast, Jim. I remember our first podcast together.
That's right. And we didn't really know each other that well, but somebody told me that you were a big meditator, and so I had him on Exploring Awesome. And it's so crazy. The format was like, it's just Sailesh's face and I'm somewhere and we're talking back and forth, but you can only see Sailesh.
That is awesome.
It's just bizarre. We're gonna have to redo that one, talk about meditation again. Sailesh. So I want to let everybody know we're trying to be consistent with every second and fourth Friday, but we're blowing it because Sailesh, I really want to get Sailesh on the show. He was only available today. So we wanted to switch things up, have him on today. So so that's what we're going to do. Sailesh, do you have an idea? We want to let people kind of give people a highlight, a preview. Later on, as you know, we're going to do some hypnosis, and you're going to be leading us in that. Are you going to do some fun with hypnosis, or are you going to do a more therapeutic type
Really, whatever anybody wants. We'll just play it by ear and everything else. Because I mean, my show is, you know, kind of my moneymaker. That's what I've been doing for the past 29 years and everything else. And I absolutely love it. And I love performing. And, you know, especially with COVID, taking the 2 years where you lost 95% of your shows, almost 3 full years of it. I got that fire back and that passion back of being able to do shows and everything else. But honestly, my soul cleansing is the therapeutic aspect of it. Uh, you know, I try to find, you know, that fine balance of between doing shows and doing the therapy work. Usually seems like the shows take over and I'm always traveling somewhere and gone somewhere. And so that takes away from my consistent therapy work of being able to work with an individual locally and say, okay, well, I'll see you next week. It's like, oh, you know, how's 6 weeks from you for now?
Right. Yeah. Do you ever do Zoom sessions? Do you ever do Zoom sessions?
I've started to. Actually, what I really pushed is, you know, I try to do a very intense one-on-one session, and hopefully it's good enough to never see them again.
That's great. Work yourself out of a job.
Yeah, but you know, it's that soul cleansing thing where you know you know that, you know, a few weeks later, a few months later, years later, you get messages from those people saying, you know, thank you, you've helped me, and it's still going strong.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I've known you for a few years now, and I really, until we were talking the other night on the phone, I really didn't know that you did much therapeutic work because I've only known you as a you know, show guy, and especially as a performer, it can be difficult because I mean, really, when we're you know, we're getting all of that. There's a whole lot that goes along with performing, and there's the rush from the audience, and you get so much the accolades and everything, and also financially when you're serving, you know, 500, 300 people, 1,000 people, you're going to be compensated more than if you're working one-on-one. But you're saying but there is that still, you still like doing the therapeutic stuff as well.
Absolutely. You know, to make a group of people laugh is incredible, and it's a great rush, and you know what it's like being on stage, and when you hit it out of the park, and it's not really even you, it's the people on stage, the suggestions you gave them, it's how amazing, colorful their personalities are, and you know you're able to pull it out. That's fun, but then you know that feeling you get when you touch somebody's life, you change somebody's life on you know for a permanent basis for the better.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it just feels incredible, where I'm more in awe doing one-on-one than I am doing, you know, a giant show.
Yeah. I get that. I really do. Yeah. It is like, I like that term, soul cleansing. It's very you really feel it in the heart a lot more. And like you say, when you get those messages from people months or years from now, you know, you really helped me with quitting smoking or whatever it was, those kind of things. Sailesh, I'm going to pretend like I don't know you, so I'm going to ask you some questions that I already know the answer to, but I know a lot of other people don't. I'd like to start off with what's your journey to hypnosis? Was this something that you were into when you were a kid? You fall into it? What was your life path before hypnosis?
Honestly, my life path was, you know, to be a professional athlete to begin with, and then I was going through college, got injured with a really bad injury, and I was living in Canada, so you know, drinking age was 18, so my downward spiral was, you know, constantly going to the bar, drinking my sorrows away, going, why me, poor me, and all that kind of stuff. But I was working in bars, nightclubs. There was an amateur comedy night, stepped on stage and for the hell of it, and won a couple of competitions, opened up for this, you know, the headliner that was coming in for the end of the month. And it was, you know, like $100 plus open up for the headliner. Did my bit. It ended up being a hypnotist. And he loved my 7 minutes worth of material, asked me to go on the road with him for 30 days just to open for him. And I would open for him, and he'd be there with his DJ. His DJ would play for him. And, that was the show. But we got along so well. I think the DJ got a little bit jealous. They got into a huge fight in the middle of the tour. And basically it was, the argument. And there was like, you can't fire me. You need me. And he's like, get in the car. And I'm sitting in the hotel room and they're gone for 90 minutes. He comes back by himself. And I'm like, where's Steve? And he's like, I put him on a bus. He's going home. I'm like, oh, okay.
And put him on. We took him to the train station.
Yeah, basically. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, can you play my music for me? And I'm like, hell, you play 6 songs. How hard is it? You can teach any monkey to do that. So after the month was over, he's like, why don't you be my tour manager? And for, a 21-year-old kid, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And it was basically, excuse my French, but it was be his bitch and do all his driving and put up the stage. Yeah. And I helped him write his material because I was doing stand-up comedy. I stepped away from the comedy aspect of it. But I spent 17 tours going across Canada in a motorhome.
Wow.
In a year and a half, and witnessed like 500 plus shows. And I actually walked away from everything going, I really love the bar industry, the restaurant industry. I want to eventually own something. And that's what my path led me into. So I worked for this bar, worked my way up, became one of the managers, and the staff always hounded me going, hey, you used to work for a hypnotist. Can you hypnotize anyone? And I sat through, 4 different people that, this gentleman had taught, including Anthony Cools. And, because I worked for him, I had to make him look good. And so I had to sit through everything, and I absorbed everything, not realizing I actually picked it up. And so I would just hypnotize some of my staff for fun, and it ended up being a show, or the owner saw it and he wanted me to do the fundraising show. And I ended up doing a hypnosis fundraising show, and it just snowballed from there.
Wow.
That was my first experience. I never wanted to get into it, but truly my first experience ever was, I was raised in Calgary, Alberta, and the person that you saw was Terry Stokes, and you always saw Terry Stokes at the Calgary Stampede. And when I was old enough to watch him, sell out a venue at, $25 a person, $30 a person, at 2,000 people, 2 nights in a row, and
wow,
I was in awe.
That math adds up fast.
It did. I mean, I figured that he made more money in one night than he did doing a 10-day run at the Calgary Stampede, probably 2 or 3 times that amount. And
wow.
And it was a 4-wall deal. He paid for the venue and pocketed everything else. And he had, 10 days of shows, 30 shows to advertise in front of, 1.5, 1.6 million people would go through the gates in 10 days.
Wow.
Right. And he did that for 20 plus years straight.
Wow. Hey, Shawn.
That makes buying an airplane make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Shawn, could I ask you, could have you do me a favor? Could you run over to my YouTube channel and see if you can find the Exploring Awesome, the playlist, and see if you can find Sailesh's episode and post it in here if you can. If you can't find it, no problem. But if you could find it, that'd be great. And also open it up. Hey, do you guys have some questions for Sailesh, Brian, Shawn, anybody that's watching? I mean, we really have an opportunity here. I mean, this guy has been named by several sources as the best hypnotist in the world. And I've seen his show, and it's a pretty damn good show. It's a really good show. And
I've seen clips of his work. They were some of the clips that sustained me as I was growing up.
Nice.
Jim knows I'm only 5'3.5", so I didn't grow up that much. But no, I certainly appreciate that. I'm from Saskatchewan, so.
What part of Saskatchewan?
Right now I'm in Yorkton, but hometown for me is kind of North Battleford, Saskatoon, that whole area.
Okay, so I mean, I performed at Sutherland's forever, Scuzzies.
No, yeah,
everybody knew it.
Yeah,
Shawn lives by the green tracks.
Yeah, he does.
Listen, Brian, I have a past you don't know about.
Oh, so do I.
Hey, Carol, thanks for watching.
That's why Jim worked with me at the therapeutic stuff. So
I see.
Hey, Carol, thanks for watching. Carol is actually, she's taking Tommy V's training. Apparently, she told me, and she's a soon-to-be stage hypnotist Any advice for a soon-to-be stage hypnotist, Sailesh?
Tommy V, you have a wonderful, wonderful, amazing, incredible teacher, first and foremost. And he's full of information. Pick his brain, pick other hypnotist brains. Go see as many shows as you can. There's never going to be one style that I think anybody should stick to, because you're going to create your own style. So see as many people as you can. You're going to love some of them. You're going to, look at some shows and go, "Oh my God, you got paid to do that." And I'm being honest. And then you'll gravitate to people that, like, again, like Jim's open with everything and will share as much information as possible. Find those people, collect as much information as you can, learn as much as you can from anybody and everybody, and just find the ones that gravitate to you. And you'll start mimicking them at first, and there's nothing wrong with mimicking another hypnotist or style, and you'll develop your own. And the only way you're going to get good at it is by doing shows. There's no such thing, and we're in a profession, there is absolutely no such thing as practicing.
Right.
The only way you do it is be on stage and actually do it.
Yeah.
No, I've got a question. Well, first off, Carol, jump up on stage and just send it. Have a vague outline of what you want to accomplish, and just be fluid, flow with it. But for you, Sailesh, what was probably your favorite venue or city or country that you've ever performed in?
I mean, I always
I'll add on why. What made it special?
I mean, there's different places, but I've always loved my Canadian tours and doing my shows, and my shows completely changed since I first started off in 1994, like right summer of 1994. So it's exactly pretty much 29 years now that I've been doing shows. And those were, bar shows and almost four-walling, just taking the door and trying to get like 3-4 Tuesdays or Wednesdays in a row and trying to build it up that way, handing out free tickets, two for one tickets, and then eventually just making the entire cover as people started talking about the show. Where I got really well known for Europe was I did some shows in Iceland, and they hired me on, and it was amazing that somebody was flying me from across the pond into Iceland, and the way they'd advertised me, I was a living rock star before I even did my first show. They had me advertised so well, and part of me was like, they were selling out this venue at 1,200 seats at the equivalent was $45 a ticket US, and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'd pay $45 to see me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
But they did it, and it just blew up, and that's when there was three videos that went completely viral, and that was even before YouTube. And so it got picked up by Maxim magazine, as I was like the #1 download in 2004. The website that had me had like 54 million hits, and that was, most people still had dial-up back then.
Wow. Yeah.
Very, very slow internet. And then that's when MTV Europe picked me up, and the second they called me the best hypnotist in the world, I had 6 different countries in Europe, like with different producers, try to find me, and all of a sudden bring me in and make me look larger than life before I even did my first show. So that was incredible. So I'd say Iceland, because that really gave me my biggest break, and really put me on the map. But I still love.
I hear people in Iceland are generally pretty friendly and pretty welcoming.
They are. It's a very small country. There's about 360,000 people. So it wasn't hard for the entire country to know who I was, because I was on all 3 and the only 3 TV channels in the entire country.
It's kind of like Canada. I know Bob from Toronto.
Yeah, much smaller than that, but yeah, but that's what it was like. And then you would hit these small areas, and the entire town that was old enough would come out to see you perform. And that's what was cool about it.
So Becca was asking, have you been to the UK? And then
I had
go ahead.
I had an interesting run in the UK, and it was before all the different, bans they have in the UK. You were able to hypnotize people under the age of 18. I did some shows for the Comedy Store, and actually, the funniest story about the Comedy Store was they they were taking me to Edinburgh for the Fringe Festival and got me the second largest venue, probably one of the best time slots. Spent £30,000 advertising me, but they rented the venue from a church. And when the church finally saw some of my promo videos, and it was more of the uncensored stuff, they pulled the plug.
Oh,
Wow.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
lift and shift, and
Wow.
Yeah, and 6 weeks out, I was canceled.
Wow.
So that was kind of rough. And I mean, I really haven't been. And then when I did come back to England, there was a lot more rules and regulations, and honestly, just even the insurance just to do one or two performances was around $1,200 to $1,500 a show.
Wow.
oh wow, yeah, Carol, get insured, videotape everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carol, where are you from?
She's down in Arizona.
Arizona. A great person to talk to is look at Peeps Insurance.
Yeah.
And then Janaea had a great question. What challenges do you find with hypnosis through Zoom or any video platform versus in person?
Honestly, therapeutic. I think it's a no-brainer, and it's worked really well, and people have been able to adapt to it and everything else, as long as you got a great screen and solid Wi-Fi and everything else, where you're not lagging or anything else. I've had a few friends that have actually tried to transition during COVID to do a hypnosis show via Zoom, and I was always wary about it, and I asked one of my friends, I was like, "Hey, how did it go? Like, how was it?" And the answer was, "I didn't completely suck."
Mm.
Yeah,
And that to me was like, you know what? I'll never do a Zoom hypnosis
Yeah.
show.
I ended up watching one, and it was by somebody who's actually really good, very famous, very popular, and it was awful. It was just terrible.
Mhm.
It was, it's just a different thing. I mean, it's just, I don't think I don't think it translates well. I don't.
well,
So.
folks generally don't pick up the energy, and then you as a performer aren't able to feed off the reactions of the crowd and everything like that. Because sometimes you can be up on stage, you'll do a bit, and then you'll hear somebody pop off in the audience, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna put that in my pocket, save it for later. And then you kind of call back because everybody else in the audience heard that comment, and you're like, all right, I'm going to incorporate that into the show.
Yeah, you can't feed off the audience. I mean, I even did a couple shows where a couple colleges brought me in, and we simulcast it from a TV studio where I took 20 volunteers, and that's all I could have, and do a show. And it was just, you got no energy because you got no response. People said they loved the show, but I absolutely hated it. It didn't feel like it felt like work. And once it starts feeling like work, I got to find something else to do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because we're seeing each other live, and then I've got my other screen. So when you see me glance off to the right here, it's me watching everything else. I have the live muted, and depending on how far along or how good the connection is, we could say something, and then I'll look over, count to 3, or it's a second and a half delay, and then I see myself, or whatever we're doing, moving around. So, and then sometimes I think like Becca, we've had her on, live doing that type of stuff. And it's like you give a suggestion and you have to wait for it to go from Seattle, Washington, all the way to the UK and then back, and then there's a response. But again, it's just it's kind of a simple obstacle to overcome, and I think we've been better because of it.
Yeah, and it's different because I mean we're in so many different time zones with all the people. Like, I mean, I was having a conversation with Paul Ramsey, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to do Jim's thing, but it's so late." And I'm just like,
Right.
"Dude, you're so old.
I
You know,
know.
have a cup of coffee and stay up till 10:30 at night."
Yeah.
He's going to do it when he's back in Arizona.
Back to Arizona. Yeah.
Hey, Mark Barris, good to see you, buddy. Good to see everybody that's watching. Thank you so much. You know what's interesting is we talk about these, doing the hypnosis through the screen. I know there were other people doing it before Zach did it, Zach Pinson's, but I feel like he made it just kind of a big thing. And it's amazing how powerful hypnosis still is. Like just last week, we were we did a thing where Brian just showed his phone. When you see the M, you'll go into hypnosis on my phone, and he holds up his phone. He's got the Motorola thing. I think somebody asked me one time, could you do an instant, a shock induction? I was like, I'll try. And I was just like, I just kept talking. All of a sudden I clapped my hands and said, sleep. And then somebody emailed me the next day and said, wow, that worked. You sent me out. I slept the rest of the night because of that. It's so interesting how powerful it is, even through the screen like this.
Yeah, or you go, okay, and you clap your hands together and you're like, please work, please really work. And then you watch the person, their eyes roll back and they fall forward. And you're like, okay, thank God that worked. But
I don't think I'll ever stop learning. There's always something always new to learn, no matter how long you've been doing it for. And the second you think you know everything, you should walk away. I always believe that there's always something new, and I'm still, regardless of how many years I've been doing it, I'm still a student of this. I'm still in awe when somebody goes out and you see the results, and it's incredible. This is such an amazing field to be in.
It really is.
I mean, you feel like a Harry Potter wizard, man. It's Carol. Tell me I'm wrong when you jump up on stage and finish your first show, and it goes well. Yeah. But she's got a great question. Did any of you learn hypnotherapy before you learned stage? For me, no. I learned the street stuff because Jim laid me down in the street and super glued me to University Avenue, just outside University of Washington, and people thought I had died. But
yeah,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually just did my first show a few weeks ago, and I had one guy on stage who hit the SDLC, and he wasn't doing, and he didn't even wake up when I said, 1, 2, 3, awake. And my the partner who was coming on after me to do the magic portion of the show actually thought he died.
Oh no, he did. He was just messing with you, Shawn. Be like, you killed him, and you'd be like, no.
At the end of the show, he was really starting to kind of lean over on the young lady that was beside him. So I just started tipping him up, and he woke up. I said, "Oh, we're ready to start the show. Are you ready to go? Like, come on, let's get a big laugh with the crowd because we were done. The show was over." So
I can hear Becca's accent. I'm a wizard, Harry.
And then, so for me, I did it half-ass backward. I started doing shows without even knowing what the hell I was doing because I was just mimicking a hypnotist.
You know what? That's the best way to do it. Just jump in and learn.
Yeah, and then to do the courses and everything else. But I highly recommend also learning everything you can about hypnosis. Do the hypnotherapy courses. Do the NLP trainings. All of it will help your stage work, especially if you want to be stage.
Oh, go ahead, Sailesh.
No, I suggested especially if you want to be stage hypnotist. All of it. You may say, I'll never use it for any sort of therapy. I'm not going to be a hypnotherapist. All of it translates to even stuff that you do on stage and everything else. Because honestly, and I know Jim, you can attest to this. There are times where we have to do some therapy work right afterwards, a stage show, because some of these people are wound up pretty tight, and you don't know what's coming up on your stage. There are reasons why people won't react on stage or stay asleep. Usually it means they're avoiding something. there's something really stressful going on in their lives and everything else. And for me, it just turns automatic. I become a therapist just like that. And okay, I don't even need to know what's bothering you. Let me help you.
Yeah, you'd be amazed. And Carol, you'll don't be shocked if you get surprised talking to any audience afterwards. Like, people straight open up to you right away, and they're like, "Well, it's like I saw this comedy show," and then especially if they're up on stage, they'll be like, "I didn't think that I could sleep and relax because I have I suffer from anxiety or insert ailment here, and I have this challenge," and you're like, "Oh, cool, here, let me help you fix that real fast." And it's like, you go with like the anchoring thing, touch a point on your hand or whatever, lock that in, make that association. And I'm like, watch how easy it is. Here, let's shut your brain off. And there's like, boom, power down. And it's, all of a sudden they're like, how do you feel? They're like, dude, that worked. Light bulb goes off, and all of a sudden you just unlock this matrix, fix their brain type of a thing. And it's awesome. But,
hey, as you're folks, as you're scrolling through there and you see the comment there with exploring awesome, I encourage you to click over to that, save it for later, because that's Sailesh talking about meditation. He's been involved in meditation for a long time, teaches meditation. Check it out. It's a really great episode that we did a few years ago, and you'll get a kick out of it because it's really funny watching Sailesh talk to me in somewhere in the heavens or something. Janae wants to know what your thought is about what your thoughts are about confusion inductions, Sailesh.
I like it. I mean, they work great for an instant as well. Mm-hmm. They're perfect for instant inductions. So I do like it. I mean, for me, my go-to is honestly a progressive relaxation. But I've been able to, and Jim can attest to this, that I got it down to 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can still get 75 to 90% of the people on my stage, but because of the technique I use, I let people in the audience know that they can try it themselves. And usually, 2 to 4, 6 people I dismiss on my stage, I replace them with people that went out in the audience that didn't expect to be on stage. And sometimes they're my best. They're my best people.
I love too, Sailesh, when you and it was amazing. Both you and Tyson are two that I've seen that use a progressive relaxation, both very quickly. So I know there's some people that think you've got to do a 20-minute progressive relaxation. You don't. One of the things that I really liked about your show, well, two things I really liked about your show. Number one, like the way that Sailesh is talking right now is damn near the way he talks on stage. He doesn't come out doing this big thing, like I do. I come out, hey, everybody. He's just very low key and just kind of chatting. And then, like, as the show's going on, when you look over at somebody and you can tell they're there, that they're going out, and you just kind of look at them and you kind of flipped your finger and they go, impressive, my friend. Good stuff.
And then,
thank you. Yeah. So I mean,
to answer your question from Becca, you'll see it up on the screen here. From her perspective, the confusion induction, best thing. Mm-hmm. Becca tends to just absolutely love those.
Yeah, and it's an absolute quick induction, and the confusion also works great as deepeners as well.
And you were going to say about your show, the way right before Brian jumped in there, you were.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I'm just me. My induction voice is a little bit different, but this is what you get on stage. And I'm not the star of the show. I think of myself more as the producer of an improv show, and the people that are hypnotized, they're the real stars, and you make it that way. My golden rule is I would do everything I make the people on my stage do, I would have done to me and nothing more. If I find it embarrassing or shocking, I won't make anybody else ever do it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Jim, I need to kind of brag on you here for a second. Carol popped an excellent comment here.
If you have to.
She says she's been doing hypnotherapy for 2 years, and she feels that there's much more to hypnosis. And then finding the stage training was incredibly difficult for her. And out of all of the hypnotists that she had reached out to, that you were one of the very first people to respond and kind of point her in the right direction. So, plenty of gratitude there. One of the things that I would encourage you to do, Carol, especially when you're getting on stage, if you just do a Google search for Safe on Stage, it's a free training, just different things to think about, kind of like a stage checklist of all the different safety things, from taping down loose stage stuff to working with microphone cord if you have one, and all that stuff. But Jim, you may have helped the next world's best hypnotist get her career launched, and that's pretty awesome.
It is. I love that. Thank you, Carol. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to help, and hopefully you'll meet other folks. Sailesh is the same way. He's happy. He's always happy to help people when they ask. Not everybody in our industry is like that. I'll be honest, they're just not. But hey, it's the same with any industry. It might be a little bit more with stage hypnotists, some guys with or people with big egos, but that's just the way it goes.
Actually, Sailesh, you had mentioned Terry Stokes. Have you ever had a chance to meet Dan Hedrick?
No, I don't think I've ever met Dan Hedrick.
I think you guys would hit it off.
Yeah, you got my way. Yeah, that's Terry. Terry. Yeah, I mean, Terry's the granddaddy of them all. I mean, he's been doing stage shows since the late '60s. He's born for 56 years. I mean, that man, you can sit there and just listen to story after story after story after story, and never get bored. His life experience have been incredible. And he just wants to pass forward with his legacy and everything else. So Terry's a good person to talk to. Yeah, there's for those you looking for mentors, don't jump at the first thing. Find the best thing for you. Find the personalities that you like. There are a bunch of people, I don't think I'll ever mention anybody's name ever in a bad light. Unless somebody says, I'm thinking about going to this person, I'd look at going somewhere else. But there are that, Jim and I have experienced throughout, and I don't know about you other gentlemen that are on this, and for the other people that are on this, but there's a lot of snake oil salesmen, and there's a lot of people with high egos that care more about making money off of you instead of showing you how to do it the right way. Yeah. You see people, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, you're an instructor. Wait, you've only been doing shows for a year?
Or not been doing shows. Or
not been doing shows.
I don't want to. I shouldn't. I'm not saying anymore. But apparently, there's somebody that's doing stage hypnosis training, has never actually done a show. So,
wow. And then there's people who go out there and literally copy, another person's material. And me being in the legal field, I've had to point people in the right directions for cease and desist order, letters and things like that. But it's that double-edged sword, with stage hypnosis, high school grad nights, liability stuff, and then the way that current events are evolving, and I'll kind of leave it at that. The market tends to be shrinking, and so while on one hand you can understand sort of that scarcity mentality of, hey, I got to kind of preserve and fight for what I'm going to be able to eat and support my family, versus, all right, if you do have that scarcity mentality, it's sort of that whatever you put out into the universe, you kind of get back tenfold. So if you go out and try to help people, and it's that balance of recognizing who to invest your time with, both when you're helping somebody and also seeking a mentor, versus being taken advantage of.
Yeah, and there's a few of those out there, especially ones that say, "Hey, you got $10,000 before I talk to you any further." Like,
right?
There's a red flag.
Yeah,
I said there's a red flag.
Yeah. And I personally have found, I'm sure Sailesh will back this up too. I actually make a lot more money and have a lot more friends by being, um, by not having a scarcity thinking, having an abundance of thinking. I mean, people, when you try to just grab everything for yourself, you may end up making a little bit more money in the short run, but in the long run, I think you can make less because people aren't going to refer shows to you when you're not, I'm connected with so many hypnotists. We refer shows to each other all the time. Um, so just from that aspect, and also we team up with each other on things. Grant Saunders is one of my best friends. We met, through hypnosis. We're both stage hypnotists. Now we work together on stuff. So um, you'll do so much better if you're just a friendly person, or at least not a jerk,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And Salish really epitomizes that.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, the people that you meet, you never know who you're going to run into. Like, I met Jim probably, I think I was going through probably one of the most darkest periods of my life, and it stumbled across, hey, you make t-shirts? And then, hey, I want to help you. And then years, a short time later, we're filming a training DVD with another hypnotist. That's how I get introduced to Dan. And between Jim and Dan, kind of gave me my life back. Then I'm up on stage. Then we're doing all these things. And if I went and looked back going, how did all these dominoes fall into place? And now I'm, here being a part of helping other people, whether it's launch their career, get the help that they need, and, essentially giving other people their lives back as well. It's just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. Salish, I have a question for you about hypnosis. And I was just thinking about this week, and I mean, because you've just done, and I kind of preface too much more, but do you think, because there's a whole lot of ideas about is there trance? Is that a thing? Is hypnosis? Is there a trance with hypnosis? What are your thoughts?
Yes, I absolutely believe that there is. You can put yourself into a very, very deep trance, and I mean, different people call it different things as well. I mean, the brainwave patterns are quite similar for mindful meditation. To you get athletes that get into a zone, or you even zone out watching TV, and somebody says something to you, and you look at them 10 minutes later and go, "What the hell did you say to me?" But you heard them.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely.
If your spouse says that to you, that's just male survival stuff.
Yeah,
That's marriage.
no, that is. No, that's very true. But yes, I absolutely believe that you can put yourself in a trance. There is a trance state. Um, most times we're actually in a lighter state and very, very aware. But I mean, there have been times where I've deepened myself enough into a meditative state where 2 or 3 hours have gone by. I know I did not fall asleep, but it felt like moments of time.
What are the most common feedback that you get from people as far as their experience after a stage hypnosis show? Like how they describe being up on stage?
It all depends. I mean, for some people, they're like, I know exactly what I was doing. I don't think I was hypnotized. And I'm like, did you try to stop it? Yeah, I did, but I couldn't stop.
Right.
And it's like, then you were hypnotized. And other people were just like, I have no idea. One of the ways to tell as well is relevancy of time. When I question people, I go, how long do you think you've been up here for? And then I'll go for like 5, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. All right. What time do you start the show? 8 o'clock. I show them my phone. It's now 9:42.
So what you're saying is that when you're stopped and doing field sobriety tests on the side of the road, law enforcement is hypnotizing you. All right, I want you to just talk to me, and then let me know when 30 seconds have gone by. And it's like 5 minutes later, they're just kind of looking around. Oh, I've got defense attorneys I'm going to make that argument for.
So so I mean, one of the incredible things about it is that you ask what people feel like. Most people after my stage show, because I do leave a wonderful post hypnotic, and I think for those of you that do shows or that are thinking about doing shows, you've played with their minds. They've given they've given their will to you for that moment. When you return it, why not return it with something better, something positive? Especially when you get them to realize that, hey, I made you do all these stupid things. I'm giving you a gift, a gift that some of you've already opened, but some of you're about to open the first time, that you're going to have some, more motivation, more self-confidence, more self-respect. My suggestion always is every time you see your own reflection, every time you see yourself in the mirror from this point forward, you're going to love what you see back. You're going to feel better and better about yourself. And no matter what, you're going to treat yourself like you would your best friend, because for your best friend, you would do anything for. If they failed at something, you tell them to get back up. They deserve it. You're amazing. You're wonderful. I love you. You're the most incredible person I know. But we forget to talk to ourselves that way. So you change your conversation about how you talk to yourself. And then I get them right as soon as they walk off my stage. I go, hey, by the way, if you were on my stage, open up your phone, put it in the selfie mode, take a look at yourself. And you got to see the way they light up, the smile on their face. I've had people go into tears going like, I haven't felt this good. You see people that were on your stage that, you could tell they were a little bit self-conscious about themselves, all of a sudden, have the smile and do a flick of their hair, and you can tell they're looking at themselves. And when you have those days when you look in the mirror and you're all dressed up and you're feeling absolutely amazing, and if you feel incredible, you just feel so on that you can look in the mirror and say, damn, I would do me tonight. That's the way I want them to feel.
That's a very interesting thing, because I think Jim was one of the first shows that I ever saw, and that was probably one of the things that struck me the most. Even when we were kind of doing things on the street, it's, hey, we're going to goof around with you, play with your mind a little bit. We're all going to have fun together, and then at the end of it, it's like, okay, because you came out and volunteered and put on a show for people on the street corner or in an auditorium or in a comedy club, here's my gift to you. Whether it's a goal you want to achieve, things kind of manifest. He plants that seed, and I think that's a great. Jim, you're onto something, because you're doing the exact same thing that Sailesh is doing, and I think that's a very strong testament to quality of shows, and then just the synergies as far as both your attitudes towards people.
Yeah, we have a lot of shared values there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go ahead, Sailesh.
You have to respect it, and the people that come on stage, because they're the true stars. They're the ones that made you your money. They're the ones that made you look, larger than life. So return that favor and thank them for that. Because if you don't, if you abuse that, people notice, people see it. You won't feel and be as welcomed. The most important thing is be humble, regardless of what you just did 5 minutes ago on stage. Everybody else will sing your praises. You don't have to tell everybody what you do. Everybody else will do it for you.
That's I love that. That is awesome. You don't have to sing your own praises. Let other people do it. What a great way.
It's also kind of, I think it's definitely appropriate. And if I were to close my own show, I've only been able to jump up on stage because, Jim's been gracious enough to have me do some guest spots a handful of times. But, I just kind of thought about, if I had the opportunity to close a show, is, it's all cool to say, hey, give yourselves a round of applause, but actually to tell them this show was possible because you guys came up here and did what you did. You guys are the true stars of the show. I'm kind of like the quarterback, and you guys all made this happen, and show that gratitude.
Well, next time we'll have you close it.
Yeah. There you go. No, but absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's about. People look at hypnotists and think that we have this amazing ability, amazing power, and it is, of course, something that can be learned. And you get better at it by the more you do it. And some people are a little bit more natural at it than others, just like being able to play a guitar or a piano or anything else. Thank the people that did this for you, because without the volunteers, I can't sing worth shit. So
I'm a terrible dancer.
My biggest line is, sorry, I'm not a failed magician, so I can't impress you with magic.
Right.
No,
Right.
Mark, you've got a great idea. Jim, you might
Yep.
have to book somebody up. Post
Yeah.
hypnotic suggestion course would be an amazing talking point at a conference.
Yeah. Good idea, Mark. Hey, I want to cover a couple of things before we start the hypnosis. I want to let everybody know, hey, we're going to start the hypnosis soon. I want to give a shout out to Derek. Derek is watching, or was a moment. Derek Watkins, fabulous hypnotist from out back east. I think New Jersey. Is that where he's at, Sailesh?
That's what I saw on his Facebook profile.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Derek is absolutely incredible. Very, very well seasoned. He's got the stature about him, and when you see him, you'll know exactly what I mean. And
You see,
The
I know what you mean.
headshot on his Facebook
Stature, yeah.
profile, very professional, very well done.
Yeah, he dresses well. When he's on stage, he commands the stage. But then once he's got the people hypnotized, they're the stars. Like Derek is phenomenal.
And also, if you're a hypnotist out there, Derek, any of you that are hypnotists, please drop your links down below. We'd love to share the. There's no scarcity thinking here. Drop your links, drop your IG, your Facebook, whatever. And Derek, I'd love to have you on the show sometime if you're up this late usually if you've got a free Friday night. One of the tough things about stage hypnotists is they're often busy on Friday nights, so it is tough to get the stage hips in here. So it's always fun when we get them in here. We are going to be doing the hypnosis soon. Drop your comments down below what you want to experience. I did want to circle back to the trance thing, Sailesh, because, and I'll find out what you guys think too. I keep hearing these guys, and it's always hypnotherapists that are saying, well, the research shows there's no trance state. There is no such thing as trance. And I'm like, I bet if you ask just about any stage hypnotist, they're going to tell you there's a trance state. So I think it's interesting. And also, I mean, you were at the Heartland Conference. It was the year before this last one when Anthony Gailey did his talk on, maybe it's both. Maybe there's trance for hypnosis and sometimes it's not trance and things still happen. So I found that an interesting talk.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like I don't think everyone is in a trance on my stage. So
yeah.
I never meant that it is both, but there is a trance state, and definitely been able to see it. And then I've also witnessed it through meditation and watching different people and the abilities they have in that state, which are usually humanly impossible. Anywhere from doing, being stiff as a board and having somebody stand on top of you to, watching, especially when I was, traveling mostly third world countries where they would do some phenomenal feats that should have caused pain or at least some sort of bleeding and stuff like that. And it was incredible. It wasn't there. And I actually believe that, even doing Anthony Robbins firewalking, you definitely have to be in this trance state in order to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it's every time I hear them, because there's always arguing in the Facebook groups, and there's a couple of the guys that are like really research minded. And they're like, the research shows there is no trance state. I'm like, come up on stage sometime. Take a look at my volunteers. There's a trance state. Okay.
That's all you have to say in a Facebook argument is the research shows. I'm not going to quote anything. I'm just going to say the research. So
I mean, hook up a bunch of electrodes and we'll see what the right answer is.
Well, real quick, anybody who's listening to us, if you have benefited in any way, shape, or form from hypnosis or hypnotherapy or anything like that, feel free to, not so much like write a full-blown testimony up in the comments, but, share that, yes, this has benefited my life. Because the reason I say that is there's probably going to be people watching who are skeptical, who want to go take that step to improve their lives. They're hesitant. And the more people that give the encouragement and share, little bits and pieces of your experience, you're going to have a part in improving someone's life. So I definitely encourage people and welcome you guys to do that.
All right. And then Joe just wrote in the comment that I've experienced what I would call trance. It's different than what I would call ordinary conscious, but I'm not an expert. You know what, Joe? no one can tell you what you feel better than yourself. So if you
Right.
felt it, you felt it.
Good point. Good point.
I would just call it an altered state.
Yeah.
People get so nitpicky on the terminology. Is it something that's different than normal? Yes, then it's altered. Done.
Yeah.
Argument's over. Canadians win.
There we go. Hey, I live in the States, but I'm still a Canadian. I
There
bleed
you
red.
go.
Hey, I want to just say, Janae's out there. She says, question for everyone. Have you ever accidentally gone into light trance, listening or reading your own material?
Sometimes,
I'll say absolutely. Yeah, reading.
Sometimes when you're working with people and you're trying to get them to kind of relax and just you're using that deep voice, that late night FM DJ type thing, you kind of sit there and you're like, okay, I want you to just pretend like you're sinking into this memory foam mattress and just go deeper, deeper, deeper. And then you're just kind of like, you kind of shake yourself out of it and be like, no, you need to be in charge of this. You can't drift off into Neverland because someone's got to fly the plane.
I frequently go into trance when I'm doing hypnotherapy. Definitely.
Yeah.
Kind of get in sync with them and you're just kind of flowing. It's an interesting thing. Sailesh, what have we not asked you that we should have asked you that you'd like to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. I'm the type of person I just, I start spouting off through normal conversation. Yeah. So any questions you have, anything about, stage shows, traveling, I've been really, really blessed. I've been able to, win a bunch of awards this past decade, especially considering I thought I already hit my peak like 10, 15 years ago. And I was like, I'm not receiving these damn awards, or a few here and there. And then all of a sudden, this past decade, I've won 8 of them. And the other 2 years, nobody won COVID. So,
yeah,
I'm yeah. And it's crazy that, this is my 29th year into it. I'm into my 50s and I'm still winning, awards.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something right.
Definitely. And that is interesting. So you'd gone all this time, you hadn't won any awards, and you're like, well, I guess my time for award stuff is over. And then all of a sudden you start hitting them. That's pretty cool. What do you think sets you apart? How do you become the world's best hypnotist? How do you get all these accolades? What do you think made you get the attention, do the work that made you who you are today?
All right, I'm going to venture a guess at this first. Jim, it was super simple. All he had to do was be really good at everything.
No, just keep going after everything. I took as many opportunities and possibilities as possible. Some of them worked out. Some of them I was looking so forward to. And then, they fall apart, 6 weeks out of Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And all of a sudden, the producer doesn't want to talk to me ever again because he's out 30,000 pounds. But I just kept at it, and I had a passion for it. One of the good things, and I know Shawn can attest to this, especially if he's been around other hypnotists, is we didn't have a big market to start with. So you had to be good at what you did, and then the same people came back to see you again. So you had to be creative and keep creating new and more and different material consistently, because your crowds never changed. But as long as they were amused, they enjoyed it, they would come back over and over and over again. I mean, I lucked out, and I had one venue where I did 77 Sundays in a row without missing a Sunday. And
wow.
Yeah, and which was incredible.
Those were the Sailesh sermons.
Yeah, exactly. And there were, those were more fun days, and those were when I was creative, and those were the days where I'd have 20 skits, but 10 would have to be new every time I did a show at that venue.
Wow, that is some pressure, man. I tell you,
that is, and you had to come up with new skits weekly. I mean, I promise you, some of them were like, I can't believe I thought of that, because that was just dumb. that went out the second
shot, right?
I left that show. And then there's others that, it's like, okay, there's still something there, but I have to work at it. And so I always had a rule that if I felt that a skit could work, I'd give it 6 times to develop it, get my patter down right, the wording down right, and everything else. And then it still evolves. And then now I look at it, 75% of my skits I've retired because it's just not PC correct for what was cool today, which did, or what worked, 10, 15, 20 years ago, which would never fly on stage today.
Yeah. It's funny how there's just that. It's just kind of, I honestly, I think it's going to come back. I think it's sort of on the way back. I think we're kind of moving away from the severe PC stuff, but we'll see. Let's try to run through these. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, you're still going to get the people on stage, and you know who they are because they're going to sit in your front row and have their arms crossed and not laugh at a thing. And I call them, and actually we in the college park, we could just call them the habitually offended. They're just waiting to be pissed off at you and then write you up and then tell this, the entire world why you should not be there because we offended one person. And usually we didn't offend that person. We offended somebody they're speaking for,
right?
That doesn't have a voice.
Yeah.
Those tend to be the people that are looking for something to be offended or upset about because their lives are that miserable that that's the only thing that they can talk about as far as current events or having something to say rather than, because there's nothing going on in their life. But Mark's got a great question, Sailesh. Do you book your own shows or do you have a booking or a talent agent?
I'm one of those funny stories. So I had management and he took care of everything, and he used to manage Anthony Cools before me and a bunch of others. I came to him and said, my wife and I, we plan, she's not pregnant. We plan on having kids. And I can't be I was on the road about 280 days out of the year. And I was like, I can't do that. I want to really delve into the college market. That's where there's really good money. And I'm developed myself there. That's where I need to invest in, but I'm cutting my shows in half. I want to be home half the year, throughout. I can't be gone for 4 or 6 weeks on end.
And within to put that into perspective, the average Navy SEAL is gone about 270 days a year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know how they feel. Like, I mean, sometimes it felt like I was doing like tours where I wouldn't see my wife for 4 to 6 weeks. And we just started talking about having kids, and 2 weeks after that, he quit. He got scared. Well, he didn't really quit. He found a full-time job because I was his bread and butter, and all of a sudden he thought he was going to lose half his income. What he didn't realize is I do a third of the shows and I make twice as the money I used to.
Nice.
I just found the right market. So to answer your question, I actually went solo, went independent, was self-repped, and along the way picked up a whole bunch of friends that didn't have any representation. So we were a bunch of misfits, artists representing artists, and I own an agency now. So we have, 45, 50 different artists that we represent in the college university market. And wow. I have 4 staff, and then my wife and myself as well. So.
Wow.
That's Metropolis. What is it?
Metropolis.
Metropolis Agency.
Management. Yeah.
Hey, I want to do something a little bit different. We've never had this many questions before. So what I'd like to do, I would like to, Sailesh, if you wouldn't mind, because we really got to get started on the hypnosis. I do have a hard stop here at about 9:15. Sailesh, would you kind of just fire through these questions we've got over here? And then we're going to start the hypnosis. Please, if you have questions, it's fine, but we're going to stop answering questions soon because we got to start the hypnosis. Drop something down that you want to experience during the hypnosis. We'll try to make that happen. So, Sailesh, answer some questions.
Let's go.
All right.
Becca asked if it's okay to still like the idea that hypnosis is mind control, and she kind of defines that as the typical stereotypical the misconception that it's magic or power or anything like that. But She says that she feels that perception of it actually causes her to go deeper. I'm reading that as more of the authority figure is more reinforced.
Okay, so you don't have to advertise yourself as that, but you'll be given that. And I mean, I think Jim, you can attest to it. Is the second they see you, the second they see you do something, the second they get you, you do something spectacular with another human being on stage, they're in awe. All of a sudden, you have this great power. You are Harry Potter. You are, Houdini. You are, whatever they may think. Magneto. They think that you have this one power above them that, and it will carry forth. And just that belief system alone, as the person said it, I believe you said Becca.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just makes them go deeper. And it's just like for stage hypnotists, the first person that I ever put on to sleep on my stage, and I get everybody else to see that goes out, is the one that I know that's deepest under, that the one that you can see their body slump, that they're going so far that they're about to fall out of their chair or into the next person's lap. That's the first person I say sleep to, because everybody else goes, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And they're like, "I must be hypnotized too." And everybody goes to sleep on your stage.
That's a convincer for everybody else. Like, that's here comes the big.
Yeah, and so hopefully that answers Becca's question. Yeah, then all of a sudden you become this powerful, person on stage that is mind control, that can control other people's minds, that taps into the subconscious. The second you walk up on stage and you go to the first person, you go, "I'm not sure if they're hypnotized or not." And you say sleep, and they go, "Nope." Everybody else is going to go, "Nope."
Right. Exactly.
Walk off the stage, even the ones hypnotized.
Janaea wants to know, Sailesh, she's heard it's a misconception that trance can only occur in a state of relaxation. Is that true?
In a state of relaxation, actually, to me, I would say 99% absolutely. Yeah, that's true. You have to take your mind away from whatever it may be. If it's something stressing you out, or you're hyper. The only ones it doesn't is for elite athletes, because they'll put themselves in this, the zone or the game mode, and I still feel that's a form of trance, but
they need to get hyped up.
They need to be hyped up. They're not. So the only time I say no is for elite athletes, and a lot of them are using some sort of mindful meditation or sports hypnosis, self hypnosis kind of thing, or having someone that that's well trained in it, especially golfers, boxers, all those kind of people. So
kind of on the sports note, it's almost like the people that are doing the crowd control, or not so much the crowd control, but like over the PA, when it comes from the announcer on the PA, the music that goes with it, because you amp up the crowd, you bring that energy, and then the players who, like in hockey, they're standing in the tunnel waiting to come out on the ice, and they're like, "Oh God, everybody's so into this. We're amped up. We're fired up, ready to go."
Yeah.
All right. So
great question for Sue right here. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Newbie, any tips working with kids with sleep issues? Any tips, Sailesh?
Bigger hammer.
So, yeah, one of those bats, and just hit him in the back of the head and say sleep. No. First off, is build a comfortable relationship with that child, and the second thing is, and mostly, I think it works better for females in this aspect, especially with them children, for sleep or anything like that, is using that motherly, soothing voice in their hypnotherapy. That calm, relaxed, instead of sometimes, a stronger, authoritative voice can also, because you don't necessarily know what's happened in their past. They could have been yelled at a lot or everything else, but usually it's the ones that soothed them and called them. They had that very nurturing, motherly, grandmotherly voice.
Sailesh, what are your thoughts on one of the things that comes to mind for me is give them, like you said, the voice and the tone of how the tone that you use, and then actual specific instructions like visualize or feel yourself, insert sensation here.
Yeah, I mean, you can also see
that direction.
how they connect as well. I mean, if they're visual, if they're a kinetic, or it just even a soothing hand of your hand on top of their hand, as you go through the whole induction, where there's all of a sudden a soothing comfort, like almost a safety blanket. But you have to kind of build that relationship with and see where you stand with that person, that young individual. If they know if they know you're investing in them, then you want to see their well-being, they'll open up to you a lot more.
Nice. Okay, so it is time for us to start the hypnosis. And
what are we going to do here for the hypnosis? Are we doing therapy, or are we going to have a little bit of fun? Or
we've got some requests. Let me look those over in a second. Shawn, can you get the ticker going? Or do you have access to that where I can give the little warning? I don't know why it's not working for me.
I don't think there it is.
No. Yeah. I got it. Okay. So before we begin, coming up next, we're going to be doing some actual real hypnosis through the screen, people. And so Sailesh, the way this works, usually our guest hypnotist, the Hypnosis Hero for the week, will kind of lead things. We can do street style stuff, and we can take turns doing that. Sometimes we do therapeutic, where like the Hypnosis Hero does the whole thing. Sometimes they want us to join in, and we'll do like 3 or 4 voices going different, kind of going back and forth. What kind of resonates with you today?
I'm open with anything, or if anybody has any suggestions of what they want to see, because I've been following you for the longest time, Jim, and I just haven't been able to catch one of these Friday night things whatsoever. And but I've been following you forever, and I've been following your work, and and especially since we connected a few years ago. I've been a big fan of yours, so I'll kind of take your lead.
All right, buddy.
Do you want to have somebody come on? One of our viewers.
That'd be great.
Join us.
That'd be great. Yeah, if I can see them, that makes it a much.
Yeah,
much
I got to tell you, when I first started doing it, Sailesh, when I first started going through the screen and you can't see the person, it was challenging, and it took Brian a long time before he finally just went for it, because it's much easier when we can see him. So, Becca, you going to jump on with us? Shawn, you want to drop the link down for people to join? Can you do that?
Just did it.
Okay, Brian. So we just dropped a link down there. If you want to join us on the live broadcast here, please do that. Hit that wave.video. So a couple of things that people were asking for. We had somebody said something about they would like to have some confidence.
Mm-hmm. Debbie, jump on us, or I'm sorry, jump on with us.
Jump on
Had a Freudian slip.
Either way. And then we also had somebody...
Kendall, you too.
Somebody said something about a 3D experience or something. What was that? You guys see that one?
Yeah. She said Kendall says she's a very visual person and can see what she creates in kind of a 3D modeling is how I kind of read it. And then she was asking how fun would it be to do something like that?
Great. So it looks like Sue has jumped on with us. So what we could do, guys, is we could start off with some kind of fun with hypnosis, do a couple of little, finger magnets or something like that, or whatever, do a couple of little bits, and then move into a therapeutic thing. Might be interesting. So we got...
Is that Sue? Is she with us?
Yes. Oh, we got a couple of people. We got Kendall. Yep. Good. Awesome.
Welcome.
Full house tonight.
Best show ever.
So Brian, would you like to lead us off, and then Sailesh, whenever you feel comfortable, jump on in.
I'm gonna let Sailesh just go full send with it.
he's wanting us to kind of get things started. He's not. Oh my God, we're getting tons of people in here. Okay, I'll start us off. Sailesh, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick rapid induction, and then you guys can jump in and do some skits. All right. Cool.
All right.
Or some phenomena, whatever. All right. So just a reminder, because this will be uploaded to Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff as a audio podcast. If you're listening at home, please pull over if you're driving. Sit down, lie down, relax. Hypnosis, you really need to be in a place where you're not going to go into trance and get in a wreck or anything like that. So let's get started. Just follow the simple instructions. If you want to go into trance, it's going to happen.
If you're sitting down, laying down, get comfortable. Make sure you're out of range. If you do slump over, that you're not going to fall into the coffee table or anything like that.
Yes. Good.
Oh, watch this. Hi, Becca. Hello, my dear. Got something for you. Big ball of sleep. 1, 2, 3, and here it comes. And good night. Just drifting, dropping, falling.
And so if you're make sure, like if you're sitting on your bed or on a couch or something, you're not going to fall off or anything. You'll see Becca just fell over. So fortunately, hopefully she's in her bed. All right. So just follow my simple instructions. You're going to trance really quickly, really easily. If you're on the screen, you'll go into trance. And if you're at home, you can go into trance right now. What I want you to do is put your hands together like this. I want you to raise them up just a little bit above your head. I want you to look at that thumb knuckle. Look at the knuckle. Look at the knuckle. I want you to imagine right now that those hands are becoming stuck together. Imagine those hands becoming stuck together. Feel the super glue. Imagine that there's super glue sticking those hands together, welding those hands together. You know how it is when you get that sticky feeling of that super glue and it starts to harden. It starts to get really sticky. You know they're going to be stuck any second. On the count of three, you're going to try to pull your hands apart. You're going to find that you just can't pull them apart. And in fact, the harder you try to pull those hands apart, the more locked they become. You can go ahead and join anytime, Debbie. Just put those hands together. Stare at that spot. 1, feel those hands sticking together. 2, totally, completely stuck. The harder you try to pull them apart, the more locked they become. 3, when you know absolutely certain that they're stuck together, try to pull them apart. Find they just won't come apart. The harder you try to pull them apart, the more stuck they become. They will not come apart. Great. And now just send that same relaxation, that same sticky feeling to your eyes as your eyes close. Allow your eyes to close as your hands gently drift down to your lap. And as they touch your lap, they can become separated, but your eyes become stuck, totally, completely stuck. Feel them becoming stuck. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. The moment I say 3, you'll try to open your eyes, find they just won't open. Again, the harder you try to pull them open, the more locked they become. Feel that super glue on the eyes. We're putting some duct tape on your eyes. They're totally, completely stuck. It's going to be a really cool feeling. It'll be interesting. This is your test of your imagination, testing to find that they will not open. In fact, saying to yourself now, my eyes are locked shut. 1, eyes completely locked shut. They will not open. 2, the harder you try to open those eyes, the more locked they become. 3, try to open those eyes, find they will not come apart. The harder you try, the more locked they become. And now sleep all the way down, relaxing, collapsing, going deeper and deeper with every breath that you take. Just allow your entire body to relax, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, knowing that everything that we say to you compels you to follow our instructions, because the sound of our voice compels you to follow our instructions. You're going to hear from Sailesh, Brian, Shawn, myself. We're going to give you some interesting instructions. You'll follow our instructions perfectly because the sound of our voice compels you to follow our instructions perfectly. Nod your head when you understand. Very good. Just like that.
All yours, Sailesh.
Oh, all mine. Okay. We'll just awaken everybody right now in 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Sitting up. And then who do we have here? Because I have to scroll down so I don't see where the bottom is. The first person
So
actually have their screen off.
underneath you, Salish, I believe that's Debbie. Is that correct?
Debbie. Okay.
Next to Debbie is Becca in the UK.
Oh, there we go.
Becca,
And then
big ball of sleep right here, and good night. Brain goes off. Okay. And then Kendall is right next to Becca. So Becca, come back to us. 1, 2, 3, wide aware, feeling better. Becca, come back. Big smile on your face.
And can we hear them as well?
Yes.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK, so Becca's got to be quiet.
So no one. Oh, she's got to be quiet. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. And then we'll go with Kendall, and Kendall just sleep and double in the state of relaxation. Kendall, as you relax and let yourself go a little bit further, a little bit deeper. Kendall, you're going to find when I count to 3, and I count to 3, you're going to find that you are now on a singing show. It's kind of like the American Idol, but it's done in a cappella. You're going to sing your favorite song. So think of a song, just a few lines from that song. But you'll find as you begin to sing, your tongue will slowly get bigger in your mouth. It's going to double in size and then triple in size. So you know what happens if your tongue becomes too swollen in your mouth? You'll still be able to breathe. But let's see what happens. You're singing in 1, 2, 3, wide awake. Hi, Kendall. Welcome to the show. So what would you like to sing? What's going to be your song today?
That's right. The more you giggle, the more you laugh, the deeper into hypnosis you'll go in just a moment. That's right. You're doing great. The more you giggle, the more you laugh. The more you giggle, the more you laugh, the better you feel.
I'm sorry, Kendall, what song was it?
And then Kendall, tell us what your name one more time because you forgot. It's right on the tip of your tongue. Yeah, you see what I did there?
And Debbie and Sue, both of you can just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Just allow your eyes to close and just count down from 3, 2, 1, sleep. Just allow yourself to relax, collapse, going deeper and deeper. The sounds of our voices around you will just cause you to go deeper into trance. Sailesh, Shawn?
Yes. Debbie, you're going to find that we're going to play a number game. You're going to count your fingers. But as you count your fingers, you're going to find the number 7 is no longer there. It's missing. It's no longer in your vocabulary. It's no longer a number. So when you count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here we go. In 1, 2, 3, wide awake. Hey, Debbie, can you count your fingers out loud and just, just sort of
Hold 1,
all
2.
them up and then, and count them out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
You missed one. Let's actually. Why don't you, when you count it,
We'll go like this. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Keep, and then when you finish one hand, go to the next.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What is that one?
8, 9, 10.
You missed one.
The second hand, you were 6.
6. Stuck.
All of you up there, 1, 2, 3, sleep. All the way down, relaxing, collapsing, going deeper with every breath that you take. Relaxing, collapsing, good. Any more phenomena you want to do, or you just want to go into some therapeutic stuff? That was fun.
Yeah, somebody wanted to work on confidence, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do my quick progressive relaxation with them, and then just run my whole motivation, self-confidence, self-respect with them. If that's
awesome.
Okay with you, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Do you want to bring them back and then have them go back down, or just keep them like this?
Actually, For all of you asleep right now, just get in a very, very comfortable position. If you feel that you're leaning one way too far, correct your position right now. Where you're next in a comfortable position, your body is relaxed. All right, so I guess this is when I kick in my hypnotist voice. And here we go. All right, keeping your eyes closed, leaving your eyes closed. Look straight up into the back of your eyelids. Look up as high as you can see. You're going to feel a tired, burning sensation go through your eyes. As your eyes become so heavy, so tired, burning air so deep, you're going to feel a tired, burning sensation. And once you feel that tired sensation go through your eyes, allow your eyes to float back down. Your body gently relax, letting all the energy go. And we're going to start with your feet, relaxing both your feet, relaxing every muscle, nerve, and fiber in those feet. Feel as that relaxation as it moves up through your ankles, into your calves, as it relaxes your calves completely. As you feel that relaxation as it moves up into your knees, relaxing your knees even deeper, deeper and deeper. Feel as that relaxation as it moves up into your thighs, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in those thighs. Feel as that relaxation as it moves up into your hips, relaxing your hips, and now up into your stomach. As it relaxes your stomach completely, as you feel that relaxation as it moves into your back, relaxing your entire back, all the way from the bottom of your spine, all the way up to the top, relaxing your entire back now even deeper, deeper and deeper. Feel as that relaxation as it moves into your lungs as you take another deep breath in, breathing in. As you exhale, feel the energy as it escapes. That's right, let all the energy go. As you feel that relaxation as it moves into your chest area, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your chest, now up into both your shoulders. As it relaxes your shoulders completely, as it moves down your arms, down into your hands, down into your fingertips, relaxing even deeper, deeper and deeper. I will count down from 5 to 1. Each number I descend, doubling the state of relaxation you are in. You will find when I do hit the number 1, as you collapse even further, even deeper into a deep, relaxed sleep. As you feel that relaxation move all the way back up into your shoulders, relaxing your shoulders once again. In 5, feels that relaxation as moves up into your neck, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your neck. In 4, feels that relaxation as it moves up through your jaw, your tongue, your lips, your mouth, even deeper, deeper and deeper. In 3, doubling the state of relaxation you are in as you feel that relaxation as it moves up into your nose, into both your cheekbones, now up into your eyes, relaxing your eyes completely. In 2, as you feel that relaxation as it floats up to the top of your scalp, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your body, as all the energy, all the relaxation escapes up through the top of your scalp. Now in 1, deepest sleep. As you sleep so further and deeper, letting all the energy go. As you focus on my voice and as you listen to my voice, you're gonna find when I count to 3, I'm gonna leave you with the suggestion. Upon awakening, all other suggestions are removed. But upon awakening, you will find you will have more motivation, more self-confidence, more self-respect than you've ever had. Now, this suggestion grows stronger day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. This is my thank you to you for allowing me to hypnotize you. As the suggestion grows stronger day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, you will find anytime, every time you see yourself in the mirror, anytime, every time you see your own reflection, you will love what you see back. You will begin a conversation with yourself and continue this conversation. You will treat yourself like you would your own true best friend, because for our best friends, the only thing we want for them is the best, that they deserve it, that they're absolutely incredible. Whenever they fall, you're the first one to pick them up. Whenever they don't achieve their goals, you're the first ones to root for them because you love them, you believe in them. You'll create that conversation for yourself as well, never questioning anything you set your mind to, believing yourself, loving yourself. It begins by looking in the mirror, loving what you see back, bringing a smile to your face, a jump to your step, no matter what you decide to do, whatever you believe you want to achieve, visualize it, picture it, see it, and see yourself accomplishing it. You will have more motivation, more self-confidence, more self-respect, and it starts from within. And it starts anytime, every time. This suggestion becomes stronger every time, anytime you see yourself in the mirror, loving what you see back. On the count of 3, as you awaken, the suggestion begins now in 3, 2, 1. Wide awake, open your eyes, sitting up. Now, if you do have a mirror in your room or a cell phone with you, just turn on your cell phone, put it in the selfie mode, take a look at yourself.
Then with that self-confidence, anxiety is replaced by self-confidence and just general goodness.
How do you feel, Kendall?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good?
Oh,
See,
hey,
Becca's
you can talk now. Your tongue works.
It does.
What was the experience like for you, for any of you that want to say? And also, when you're those of you that are watching at home, not on the screen, drop a comment. Let us know what the experience was like and what phenomena worked for you, what didn't. Anyone want to say, Debbie? Kendall? Debbie, what was the experience like for you?
So the counting one was extremely interesting because I really felt like I was in slow motion and like the numbers could come if there was only enough time. So very slow-mo. And it sort of translated into the therapeutic aspect of it as well, because I'm feeling quite slow motion right now.
Debbie, you've got a background in business or some type of an accounting, don't you? Or where numbers are important.
Public servant for 20 some years.
Because I saw you struggling with like, I can't let that number go, and I've done that bit before, and one of the things that I was told was like, hey, tell the person that you're working with, like, okay, temporarily this number vanishes, but we'll get it back, so they feel safe letting it go. But that was one of my reads on you, where you were just struggling. You're like, I can't 100% let it go, but it's not there.
Yeah, nice. Awesome experience. Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. And if you really enjoyed that feeling, you're welcome. There's a free download on my website. It's actually hidden, so you can't really find it unless I tell you where it is. And it's if Shawn, you don't mind typing it, or somebody mind typing it in, it's SaileshTheHypnotist.com, with the slash free at the end. So you have one or two choices. It's an actual 36-minute download. 18 minutes of me talking. So give yourself about 18-20 minutes in the day.
Super.
And then if you want to listen to it at night, there's 18 minutes of music that'll put you into a deep sleep, and you'll have a wonderful sleep at night. So you can either choose option A or 1, and that's to wake up, turn it off, and enjoy the rest of your day. So you can listen to it anytime during the day, or option number 2. Oh, not 3. The word free.
Oh.
And then Kendall, what was your experience?
It was interesting with the tongue.
What was that?
It was interesting with the tongue not being able to work.
Yeah, and it felt like it was double the size of your mouth, didn't it?
Yes.
It was almost like you're at the dentist and your mouth feels completely numb.
Yes, definitely.
For those of you listening later on, or whatever, if you don't see the link, if you're just listening, it's go get Sailesh's free hypnosis download. It's Sailesh the Hypnotist. That's spelled SAILESH SaileshTheHypnotist.com/free. That'll be here in the comments, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. And it'll be in the show notes on your music podcast platform. Guys, thank you so much. Really, just a pleasure always talking with you, Sailesh. Thanks so much for being on today.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, it's always a pleasure with you, Jim. And I'm a big fan of everything you've been doing. I still think you need to take a breath because I mean you don't seem to stop. But I'm a big fan of what you do and everything else, and how you are just opening up the hypnosis world and offering it to everybody to educate people's minds. And you know, I've seen a lot of people out there, and most people are just out to make money, and you are here to put this in the greater light. And thank you for that.
My pleasure. I am hoping to make money too, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's not just about the money, but yeah.
But that will come. You can see your passion first, and the money will come, because if anybody's smart, they find people like you and learn from you, instead of, you know, these hacks that are like, oh, buy my program today and get it 83% off. You know, but they've had that sale on for the last 14 years.
Exactly. And speaking of that, I do want to welcome everybody to check out the website if you have any interest in any kind of performing hypnosis. Where we will be doing the Performing Hypnosis Summit on the 2nd through the 4th of February. That's happening live in Vegas and online. We will have an announcement for you around August 2nd. And we're hoping Sailesh will be presenting this year, hopefully.
I am definitely hoping so. Yeah, our time was just a little bit off by, I think, it was just less than a week, because I was up in Seattle the following week.
Yeah.
But then you got very sick that week too.
Well, I'm talking actually about the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know I got two of them. I got two. And then also, of course, you can come and do the Seattle conference. Shawn, of course, will be back doing support, I hope, and maybe even presenting this year. Who knows? And maybe Brian will play a part too. And
Carol, before I forget, we want to keep us posted on how your show goes. I think you're going to do absolutely amazing. I'm super excited to hear how it went.
Yes,
and please keep in touch, and send me an email, because I'd love to hear more from everybody as well. But good luck with your first show. Just do it. Don't be nervous. Jump on stage, Carol, and you'll be phenomenal.
What's your email address, Sailesh?
My email is my first name, Sailesh, SAILESH.ca@gmail.com.
It's going to be in the chat here, everybody, or the show notes. Thanks. And Kendall, maybe you'll even present at the Performing Hypnosis Summit. You're a hypnotist as well, those of you that don't know. Thank you, everybody that showed up here on the live with us. Thank you, Brian, Shawn, Sailesh. Thank you all for watching. Go download the Hypnosis Hero app. I think that's all. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.